This weekend gave us the much anticipated open beta for Tom Clancy's The Division. I cleared my schedule and dove headfirst into the finely crafted open world to shoot, loot and explore.
We have a job to do. We're still gonna do it. It's just...
Landing in 1 minute. Should be able to see it coming up on my right.
Straight off the bat, The Division looks great. The world is intricately detailed and everything runs smoothly, especially for an MMO. I was a little disappointed that I was unable to make my own character. I had to choose from a number of presets, but that's forgivable considering we're still in the beta stage of development. The character models looked okay, but one or two of them looked a little off, and occasionally downright terrifying. The lip syncing was pretty bad across the board, and although I'm no expert on what can and can't be done in games development, I'm pretty certain we're too far along to do much about it.
They're counting on us. Let's not let them down.
I also noticed something that initially struck me as a problem. At a distance, it's difficult to tell whether a character was friend or foe, and unless you aimed your crosshair at them, you wouldn't know. If the character was a civilian, the crosshair would turn green. If it was an enemy, a health bar would appear above them. However, after a little while, I realised this wasn't a bad thing. All of the promotional material, including the intense E3 demo last year, showed a world where nobody can be trusted. Playing online meant keeping your guard up, as your teammates could turn on you at any moment. It makes sense to carry this over to the PvE sessions. Being unsure of whether or not to approach a group of people in the street adds to the immersion of the experience, and adds a new layer of tension that few other games have attempted. During the brief amount of time I spent with the game, I was surprised at the lack of bugs I found. Admittedly, I had to wait a few hours before I could even play. The servers were down for maintenance in the morning, ruining my hopes for a quick hour before heading to work. But once I was playing, everything seemed pretty polished. I was expecting to run into at least a few bugs, given that this was the beta of an open world MMO, but I was pleasantly surprised. I was also pleasantly surprised in how well the game plays. The Division could stand as an offline shooter, similar to that of Spec Ops: The Line. Shooting is responsive, and there looks to be a nice variety of weapons at your disposal, which will likely expand even further when the full finished game is released. The different weapons offer more than just stat differences though. Different weapons have different crosshairs, and whilst this is a small, mostly cosmetic feature, I personally find that I prefer some crosshairs to others. This may seem silly, but it's just another addition that makes the game feel unique to me. This is my experience and I'm playing it my way. Unfortunately, earning experience and leveling up didn't feel as satisfying as it should. The skills felt a little blah to me, so I didn't even place a few of the skill points I earned. This may just be another drawback of playing a beta. The full game could open up new skill trees and gameplay options to add a new level of strategic depth, but during the beta I found guns blazing to be the best option, with my special skills being little more than an afterthought. I didn't find the user interface to be very intuitive either. My inventory felt a little cluttered before too long, and comparing items took me a few moments to figure out. The vendors are equally frustrating. I was afraid to sell anything in case it was what I had equipped. The UI could really use a little polishing before final release.
I hear a bunch of you people went missing when the shit hit the fan. Got some theories about that myself. My point is, when you're out there hooking up the city, poke around a bit, see what you can find out. Maybe the virus got him. Maybe the brutes got him. Maybe the city opened up its rotten core and swallowed him whole. I'd believe that.
My last complaint comes in the form of the quest system. The majority of them were uninteresting fetch or rescue quests to retrieve items or people that could help build up my base. Base building was fun, if a little restricted, although some of it was cut off due to the game still being in beta stage, so hopefully this shouldn't be a problem going forward.
Now that's what I call an improvement, Agent. You should charge more.
I wasn't really interested in what I was doing, so the actual missions just became little games of chase the objective marker. I could only play for an hour or so at a time before I got bored and started doing something else.
Alert. Intercepting JTF radio traffic.
Taking small arms fire. Small arms fire. Hooters have us in their sights. JTF hearing this? Please respond.
Far more entertaining to me were the random encounters, where you find a group of survivors coming under fire while trying to retrieve supplies or something like that. These were intense and would immediately draw my attention away from whatever quest marker I was following.
Warning. Hostile forces approaching.
This is just one example of the side activities, of which there are plenty, but even these didn't keep my attention for too long.
Make it last, okay?
You might be wondering why I haven't touched on a story. In the time I played, I didn't come across much of one. There may have been something lost in the sea of boring quests I was undertaking, but all I gathered is that there's been an outbreak of a deadly virus that has diminished humanity's numbers. Law and order have broken down, causing gunfights to erupt on the street, and a small group of survivors is trying to do exactly that: survive. I actually enjoy this, especially for an MMO. A group of people surviving in an ever-changing world would interest me far more than a story about a bad guy planning to wipe out what's left of humanity or anything like that.
Captain Benitez was in charge. He was leading ops to the post office, but we lost contact when he left base this morning. If he's still radio silent by tomorrow, there's talk of pulling out.
No one's pulling out. We're taking this city back.
The Division's beta entertained me for many fun-filled hours over the weekend. Boring missions and underwhelming upgrades meant I would get bored of playing after an hour or so, but the addictive gameplay kept me coming back for more. Hopefully, when the world, weapon diversity, and maybe skill trees expand upon the game's actual release, these problems will be ironed out. Tom Clancy's The Division has what it takes to be a truly unique and brilliant game. Let's just hope that Ubisoft listens to the fans and sorts out the problems we faced in the beta stage.